Sup, guys? Welcome back to Broke Bets. They were on week 4 of the NFL. What's up, dude?
What's going on, my man? September flew by for the NFL.
Yeah, pretty fast. Briefly, we're just going to mention our betting history for the past 3 weeks. It's really impossible, I'd say, to get these cards out to you guys, or like full betting things, except for on Sunday morning. It's really hard to send them because we don't know what the ins and outs are until game day for most players, so it's hard to really make your picks. So we're just going to briefly show you guys. We don't really feel like talking through too many of the games, but week 3 was a positive week, zero point 0.6 units. Week 2 was also a positive week for 2.9 units. And then week 1, barely positive week with 0.31 units. Add those numbers together and you got some positive amount of units, probably like 3.5. But yeah, those are our bets, and let's get into the picks for the new week. Okay, for the first game, we have the Dolphins versus the Bengals. A lot of questions, I think, on what's going to happen with Tua here. So what's your thoughts on the game?
Yeah. I like the Dolphins +4 here. Waddle, questionable. Tua, questionable. Xavier Howard, questionable. Teron Armstead, questionable. So that's I'm assuming why they're the underdog here. But I will still go with the Dolphins +4. They always seem to find a way to keep it close. Even the Ravens game, they were down by so much and found a way to come back and ended up winning that game. So I'll take them at +4 here.
Yeah, Bengals are off to a slow start to the season as well. Not throwing a lot of picks, not really getting the run game going. You know, if Joe Burrow turns the ball over, Dolphins could easily find a win here, especially with being 3-0 so far. Second game, we have the Vikings versus the Saints. Vikings narrowly beating the Lions, and the Saints, did they just play the Falcons?
They just lost to the Panthers.
Panthers, okay. Well, what's your pick on this game?
I like the Vikings at -2.5 here. Although the Saints flew to London right away earlier in the week, and the Vikings are waiting until Friday to go, which does kind of worry me, as their bodies may not be acclimated to the time change. But I'll still go with the Vikings here.
Yeah, I think Jameis Winston's going to have a hard time. I mean, the Vikings
If
defense
he's even playing, he's listed as questionable, and Andy Dalton took first-team reps at
okay.
practice today.
The Vikings secondary hasn't been very good, so a lot of bad quarterbacks can look good versus them. But yeah, I think they still got easily could get 3 points here, win that one. Next game, Jaguars Eagles. Jags just upset the Chargers. Eagles just destroyed the Commanders. In this position, I feel like the -6.5 is still pretty easy pick. I don't know what your thoughts are exactly on this spread.
And I don't think it's an easy pick, but I will take it.
Well, I don't know how you can
the
just
Eagles have
bank
looked.
on +6.5 for the Jags. That's the tough part. It's like, can you really trust that organization?
They've looked good so far. So
I'm not
the
convinced
Eagles
that
have looked
they're great.
a lot better. I like the Eagles' run game and pass game for that matter, and they can stop the run. So
Right.
they're good all around. So I'll take the Eagles -6.5 here.
Next game, Bears-Giants. Bears coming off 2-1 so far this year. Giants also 2-1. The 3 points seems a little crazy for a Bears game, considering that they play in a lot of close games, a lot of turnovers, pretty defensive games, and the Giants also weren't that great offensively, but I think just because they're the home team, they have the spread their way, so I'm thinking Bears +3.
Yeah, I like the Bears +3 here. It's going to be Saquon Barkley versus Khalil Herbert pretty much here, and whoever can stop the run the best will most likely win this game. And whoever wins the turnover battle will most likely win this game.
Exactly. And,
So
Bears win
Bears
by
plus
field
3.
goals in a lot of their games, so you can get your money back too.
Yeah.
Next game we have is the Bills versus the Ravens. Bills just barely losing to Miami, and Ravens with a good performance versus New England. In this one, I like the over just because of both teams have pretty explosive offenses, quarterbacks that like to run, continue drives down the field. I think that will lead to more points on the board.
Yeah, I like the over here as well. I think the Bills having a slower game from a offensive perspective last week is probably better for them this week because they'll be looking to improve there, and they'll most likely put up more points on the board. So I like the over 51.5 here.
Yep. All right. Next game, Commanders Cowboys. Commanders really haven't gotten their feet down this season. They beat the Jags week 1, but overall haven't done much since. Cowboys is actually pretty consistent with Cooper Rush. They don't do anything crazy or amazing, but they get the job done. I like the -3 here for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think Cooper Kush has been playing well. He's 3-0 as a starter, and I like them to win another divisional game here. They went on the road last week, won in the division, and playing at home this week. I think they'll get another division win.
Yeah, he doesn't make a lot of mistakes, makes the throws he needs to make, doesn't try to be someone else. So, next game, Chargers-Texans. Chargers with a big loss, and Texans just played the Bears, just barely lost as well. I'm not really sure how this game is exactly going to play out just because of the inconsistencies of both teams recently. So I'll pass it off to you.
Yeah, I like the Texans plus 5.5 here. The Chargers just have so many injuries for me. I can't really trust them. Rashawn Slater just is out for the year now, which is a huge blow to their offensive line and run game. Texans have kept every game close. A tie, lost by 2 or 3 to the Broncos, and lost by 3 to the Bears. So I like the Texans at plus 5.5 here.
All right, next game, Seahawks versus the Lions. Lions, just like we talked about earlier, came off the loss against the Vikings, showed a lot of good moments. Seahawks, I think they came off an uneventful game with the Falcons.
Yeah, they
beat
lost
them
to
in
the Falcons.
End. Yep.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the under in this game before, correct?
Yeah, I do like the under. Seahawks don't really put up many points on the board, but the Lions do on the other hand, which kind of worries me, but I think the Seahawks defense will be good enough, and I think this number is a little bit too high.
I think if the Lions get a lead too in the first half, they could try to run the ball a lot. They did that with the Vikings a lot in their fourth quarter. Didn't really step on the gas. The under will look good at 48. So, next game.
This is one of the higher numbers for the week at 48.
Right. Next game, Browns versus Falcons. Excuse me. Falcons just got their first win. Able to incorporate Cordell Patterson still really well in the offense, put points on the board. Browns, can you remind me what their last game was?
Thursday night game versus the Steelers.
Right. Nick Chubb's running game, I think that's going to be the story of the game. -1 Browns.
Yeah. They'll be running the rock, and I think Nick Chubb will have a huge game.
I think Brissett
So I like
also has.
-1.
I think Brissett has better quarterback ability too than Mariota, so I like that number as well for -1.
Yes.
Next game we have the Jets versus the Steelers. Jets just playing the Bengals, and Steelers playing who you just mentioned, the Browns. Steelers having a hard time getting their offense going, but also, like you said, Jets are getting Zach Wilson back here.
Yes. Don't really know how he will play out here, being his first game of the year. Steelers are coming off mini bye with the Thursday game. Uh, Steelers at home. If their offense does not do well, they're gonna get booed so loud there. Um, I'll take a stab at the Jets plus 3.5, but I'm staying away from this game
Yeah,
altogether.
no
Betting
actual
wise,
bet slips on this game.
yes, that's for sure.
Next one, we have the Titans versus the Colts. Colts with a strange game versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs made a lot of mistakes. They capitalized, won that game. Titans. You have to remind me on how this one went as well.
Yeah, they beat the Raiders by 2,
Right.
24-22. Raiders didn't get their two-point conversion at the end of the game.
What's your play for this one?
I like the under 20 or 42.5 here. I think both teams run the ball very well, but they also play the run very well, and it'll be kind of a standstill, I think, here in this game.
Right, and I think their only big time plays will be probably from play action, bootlegs, and stuff like that. So,
yeah,
right.
Tannehill did play well last week.
Next,
just point that out.
Yeah, next game we have the Cardinals versus the Panthers. Kind of two teams struggling to really get their full game together here. What do you like in this game?
I'll go Cardinals plus 1.5. I don't love this game either. But the Panthers can't really seem to put up many points on the board. And the Cardinals, I don't know. I think maybe Kyler will make a play towards the end of the game and pulling up a victory here.
Yeah, I'll take a stab at the Cardinals money line. That's my thought for the game. I don't think the 1.5 is worth it. I actually think even an alternate spread for maybe the Cardinals might be a better spot here, like minus 3. But I don't know. Kyler Murray really hasn't gotten his stuff going, and the Panthers really aren't consistent enough to place anything on either. So, yeah. Next game, the Patriots versus the Packers. Packers narrowly beating the Buccaneers in an ugly game, and the Patriots losing to the Ravens. And Mac Jones might be out for this game, or is out.
Yeah, I'm assuming he's out. I think they said like 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah,
for him.
The 9.5 point spread is a pretty hefty spread for, especially the Packers, who struggled to put points on the board last week. So, what's your thought for this game?
Yeah, just to point it out, the Bears are beating the Packers in points per game. I think the Bears are like 17.5 and the Packers are at 16, which is pretty funny to think about right now.
And they played each other too, is the funny part.
Yeah, and the Packers put up like 26 points, a good amount in that game.
Right.
I like this game. I mean, it's tough to say with Brian Hoyer. I'd think about the under because I just don't think the Patriots offense would be able to put up many points. But I think the Packers could put up like around 28 in this game, being at home.
Right, and sometimes the Packers get up by 21 in the first half or something, then slow down their game in the second. So you might see that here too.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, next game.
My official play will be the under, but
I won't touch that game. Next game, Broncos versus the Raiders. Broncos can't get their offense going at all. Russell Wilson cannot cook. Kind of got lucky a little bit with Jimmy G stepping out of bounds, giving them 2 points, although they would have tied the game if with a touchdown. But they're playing the Raiders, who are 0-3, have that offense, but not a very great defense, and having a tough start to the season. So what's your pick?
I like the Broncos plus 2.5 here. I think their defense is playing really well. Can't see Derek Carr in that offense with Josh McDaniels, who sucked as a head coach with the Broncos. I like to see him lose too, so I'll go Broncos plus 2.5 here.
Okay, last game we have the Chiefs versus the Buccaneers.
Last
Chiefs
Sunday game.
or it's Sunday. Sorry. Chiefs came off a kind of a shitty loss versus the Colts, and the Buccaneers still haven't really got their offense going. Brady has kind of a slow start to the season. They're missing some wide receivers, and I like the -1 here. Feels like the Chiefs will get back to their winning ways here.
Yeah, I like the Chiefs here too. With the hurricane going on, I don't know if this game's going to be moved or not as of now. With and the Buccaneers I think they're moving practice facility right now, so it's kind of a distraction for them. I like the Chiefs to bounce back here after that ugly loss against the Colts, so I'll go with the Chiefs as well at -1 here.
Okay, now the real last game, we have the Rams versus the 49ers. Personally, I like right here as well the Rams money line a little bit more than I like the spread. I'm a little surprised that the 49ers are the favorites, but they're also at home. But yeah, I like the money line. What do you like here?
I like the 49ers here. Historically, their scheme or their offense plays really well against the Rams, and I think they'll continue that. I think the Rams beat them in the playoffs last year, so they'll be looking to come back and avenge that loss. So I like the 49ers here.
Spread, money line. You know what?
I'll just say
I'm
money
gonna
line.
jump you. I'm gonna throw down the Rams money line. I think I'm actually gonna bet that too. So
Okay, we shall see.
yeah, a little duel. But yeah, these are the NFL picks again. I can't really post the bets until like Sunday morning, so you guys know where to get the bets. It's at the Instagram. It's in our description of this video. So if you want to get there, wait till Sunday. Get those picks, get those bets.
Yeah, it's tough to say what you're going to be betting on until you see the injury reports, which comes out about an hour and a half before the games.
Yeah.
That's why the Dolphins are a 4-point underdog right now. It's like there's so many unknowns.
Right. All right. Anything else?
Peace.
Peace.